Look, a woman is never going to outright tell you that she's a harlot, that she's a 304, that she's a shone, that she's a busset, that she's a scallywag, that she's a floozy, she's a jump off, a bird. Shall I continue? It's up to us as men to have discernment and be able to read the subtle nonverbal signs and cues to tell if this woman is actually of quality or if she's for the streets. And the truth is, let's be honest, fellas, every man wants a woman that is all about them. A woman that doesn't have eyes for anybody else, a woman that's about you. Let's just keep it a buck. Now, unfortunately, because the signs are always going to be there that you're dealing with a rather promiscuous woman, the signs are always going to be there, but most men are either unaware, they choose to downplay it or look away because they are in love, because the box is fire, or even worse, because you're basking on the potential of this woman, what she could be. Fellas, the reason why I'm able to talk to you guys so candidly and bluntly is because I've made these mistakes over and over again, all right? I want to be very clear. This video will be from my perspective as a man who has lived all over the world, who has dated women all over the world, multiple continents. I've had 4 relationships in completely different languages, and I've gotten my heart broken all across the world. Now, I want you gentlemen to be able to avoid heartbreak, because the truth is, you can argue with yourself in the comment section. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. The way that a man loves and the way that a woman loves is completely different. And when a man gets his heart broken, it is way more profound, way more deep than when a woman gets her heart broken. So you could choose to argue with yourself. That being said, fellas, let's dive into the 11 subtle nonverbal signs and cues that you're dealing with a 304. Okay, what's number 1 going to be? Number 1 is certainly always going to be her friends. Some might say, why her friends? What do you mean, why her friends? Birds of a feather flock together. If you want to really gain an introspective look of who the woman you're dealing with is, just take a look at her friends. If her friends are promiscuous, if her friends are neurotic, if her friends are always going out, what do you think that's going to reflect on when you guys are in a relationship together? Oftentimes, the friends are the one that's putting certain thoughts and ideologies in your woman's mind. And I often said, fellas, by the way, if you have not watched my How to Vet a Woman video, after this one, not now, after this video, go watch that one so you can know how to properly vet a woman. Her friends will always put certain ideologies in her mind. This is why a woman's mind needs to be protected, okay? Now, that being said, if her friends are always going out, if her friends are always doing certain things, certain activities, she is a product of her environment. Women are naturally more malleable, right? This is why when you want to attack somebody, when you want to attack a civilization, who do you attack first? You attack, actually, that's not correct. You do attack the men first, but you attack the men first because you leave the women exposed because the women are more malleable, okay? But a woman's mind is easily malleable, easily, persuaded. If you're in a relationship with a woman and her friends are always going out to the club, always promiscuous, always having girls trips and all these different things, oftentimes what you'll notice is that the friends are going to put in her mind, damn, does he ever let you go out? What is he, insecure? It's little dick energy. It's small dick energy. Really, her friends oftentimes are jealous that she's in a happy, committed relationship. Her friends are projecting, and oftentimes the friends might want to sabotage, and oftentimes the friends might even want to get with you. I've experienced all of these things. So her friends equal what, fellas? You gotta understand. Her friends equals her mindset. Somebody might ask how. You gotta understand, we are tribal. If your woman is around a bunch of women that are promiscuous, drinking, going out, wearing revealing clothing, things of that nature, and you want to get in a serious relationship, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna generalize here. I'm not gonna say all, but 9 times out of 10, that relationship will not work out because of her friends. What you're gonna notice with a woman that is actually enamored by you, right, is that Oftentimes, she won't even want to go out like that, which I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get into the later cues. But oftentimes when a woman is truly enamored by you, she literally wants to be around you all the time, which is still not good because you have to have your space. There has to be a natural element of yearning for you. Your woman has to yearn for you via that space. However, one clear sign for sure that your woman is a 304 is if her friends are promiscuous. Look at her friend's appetite. I remember I was seeing this girl, this was like 3 years ago. I was seeing this girl and I remember a couple of nights we had went out with her friend, her close friend. And I was in a different country, right? And I remember we went out with her friend and one night her friend was just making out with some random German dude, right? And I took a mental note. I was like, damn, she going. You feel me? Like, damn, like she just gonna make up with some random dude? I said, no. Couple of nights later, we went out again. She was making out with some other dude. In that moment, I was like, damn, I got a whore, straight up. It wasn't even the chick that I was seeing that did those activities. It was the fact that she was so close with a woman that could do that. I already knew. And sure enough, it was confirmed. A couple of months later, she was a whore, straight up. All because of what her friend did, I was already able to recognize that, damn, I potentially got a whore here. Because if she's comfortable hanging out with a woman that can make out with random dudes on any given night, sure enough, she has to have that same mindset. Let's move on to number 2. What's number 2, fellas? Y'all know what number 2 is, man. Number 2 is going to be she has an estranged relationship, with her parents. Anytime I'm vetting a woman, I'm constantly looking at her family because as a man, when you date a woman, you essentially adopt her family and vice versa. So you have to know how her interpersonal communication, relationships dynamic is. If a woman has a estranged relationship with her parents, especially who, fellas? Especially her father. This is going to manifest into adulthood. Why? Because she's never had a healthy relationship with a man, which means what? Which means she lacks respect for authority. And the last kind of woman you want to be dealing with is a woman that lacks respect for authority, a woman that's never had a healthy relationship with a man. The first man that a woman will ever love is her father. And if her father is not around and she was unable to cultivate a healthy, loving relationship with her father, with a man, she's going to be seeking validation in other areas. She might not feel complete. Like I said, she's not going to respect authority. She's not going to know how to correctly treat a man and respect a man. So oftentimes what you'll notice is that women who are promiscuous, they don't have good relationships with their parents, more specifically their father. And so they subconsciously seek validation through multiple men because they never had their father around. Oh, yeah. We always somehow find our way back to psychology on this channel. Isn't it fascinating? It's because psychology is literally everything. So you always want to make sure that if you're considering taking a woman seriously, obviously I'm generalizing here, but more times than not, I would strongly advise that you don't date a woman who doesn't have a good relationship with her father or her parents. Again, I remember I was dating this girl and her father had died early, I believe when she was like 10 years old or something like that. And she didn't really have the best relationship with her mother. And I would just watch her banter and bicker with her mother. And she was a very neurotic woman, gorgeous, hot as fuck. They typically are. But she was just very neurotic and didn't really respect authority, had a feminist, type of attitude as well. And I would just simply make mental notes as I was seeing her And I had already disqualified her in my mind, even though the box was bananas. I ain't gonna cap. She used to do this thing where she would swivel. The box was crazy. But she had an estranged relationship with her parents and she had no father figure. And that would permeate and manifest into our relationship, certain things that will come up. And so a sure sign that you're dealing with a woman that is promiscuous, that may have promiscuous tendencies, is if she does not have a good relationship with her parents. Let's move on. Oh, man. Number 3, fellas, let's get into it, man. Number 3, what is the third sign? My eraser fell. What is the third sign that you're potentially dealing with a woman that is a 304? This is going to be, and you need to pay very close attention to this as men when you're dealing with women. This is, she wants to please, everybody. What do I mean by this? She wants to please everybody. She wants to make everybody feel happy and accommodated. Oftentimes when a woman wants to make everybody feel pleased, she wants to be, liked, and she's constantly seeking approval, especially when she's not just seeking your approval as a man, which is another story that I've spoken to you guys about, how your woman should always be seeking your approval as the authority. And when you get in a relationship and when you commit to each other, she should be seeking your approval, and it should be about you and your family that you're building with her. This is when a woman is best in a relationship, when she is seeking the approval of her man as the head. But you have to work on yourself as a man to be worthy of that approval, which is a whole nother story, right? I'm always objective here. However, when your woman is constantly seeking to please everybody, this is because there is an internal void, and that void is insecurity. This could also be from her not having a good relationship with her father. And so she will seek approval from other people, whether this will be via her body, which will be via her presence, her actions, right? That will be her currency to try to please other people, to fill that void. But if she hasn't done the visceral work on herself, she's lost. That's the God's honest truth. I'm not even saying that you can't find a woman that didn't have a father that could potentially be a good woman if she's done that traumatic work on herself, which is rare, right? But the fact is, most women that want to please everybody, most women that don't have a good relationship with their father, that have friends that are promiscuous, they're gone. So I wouldn't even advise wasting your time to try to get into something serious with her, because that's only going to lead you to what? Heartbreak. So you need to be paying very close attention to see if she's constantly trying to please people and she wants to make everybody happy and wants to make sure everybody has a good time, right? Not respecting you in the relationship, not respecting your authority in the relationship. If she always has to put on a show, this means that she's definitely seeking that validation, and it's not from you, man. So let's move on. Number 4, what is the fourth sign that you're dealing with a 3 or 4? And this is going to be, this is going to be excessive tattoos. Now, while tattoos aren't inherently bad, you have to think about it from this perspective. Tattoos hurt. And if a woman can consistently go through pain to get multiple tattoos, especially if those tattoos are impulsive, right? If they're impulsive, you always have to watch a woman's actions, not what she says. And if she's constantly impulsive and neurotic, this can mean that, again, she's seeking attention, trying to fill an emptiness inside of her via tattoos and wants to be seen. You have to think about it from a deeper, visceral, psychological level. And oftentimes, a woman that can get multiple tattoos is seeking thrills, right? She's seeking novelty, huh? So you have to be very aware. Excessive tattoos is a clear indicator that this woman is a little bit more adventurous. She's a little bit more out there. She's a little bit more free. And while this may not be every single woman, 9 times out of 10, a woman with multiple tattoos, that's a clear sign that this woman is a free woman, okay? And by free, I don't mean it in a good context, right? I mean, she's adventurous. She'll do it. She'll do something different. So you have to be very wary of this. I know there's some guy that might be watching this whose wife has a sleeve or something, right? If your relationship is fine with your wife and she has a sleeve, then I'm not talking about you, buddy. But I'm talking about the average woman in this day and age getting multiple tattoos. You got to understand, tattoos on women are not classy. They're not elegant. Now, you can sit here and say that's misogynistic. You can sit here and say that's old-fashioned. You can sit here and say whatever you want to say. The fact is, I guarantee you, more times than not, women who have multiple tattoos are definitely more adventurous. They don't care about being perceived necessarily as, classy or conservative, right? And the truth is, most men, we want conservative women. We want women that is not going to be out there. That's not going to be, perceived as, exactly what I'm saying. So a clear sign, I won't even stay here too long, is tattoos, especially if they're impulsive, because that's going to tell you a certain type of appetite that kind of woman has. And you always have to be worried of the type of appetite that a woman has. This is why I've said before that I personally ask the women that I'm considering taking serious, I ask them for what? I ask them for their body count. Now people will say that, oh, duh, this is insecure. Why are you asking her for her body count? Why does that matter? That was before you. That shouldn't matter. Don't you have a high body count? The fact of the matter is women and men are not the same. And yes, there are double standards in society. It is what it is. Okay. And the reason I ask for body count specifically, right, is so I can get an idea of this woman's patterns and habitual movements. And then from there, I ask the hierarchy of the body count. So for example, if a woman has a body count of 8 or 9, right, which for me currently is unacceptable, I need to ask the hierarchy, meaning how many of those bodies were in a relationship and how many of those bodies were just flings, one night stands. Oh, dud, what are you talking about? Okay, let's say she has 9 bodies, but 4 of those were one night stands. Okay, bingo. I don't have to say anything. I know she's disqualified already. Why? Because if a woman can randomly sleep with 4 men, this shows a certain appetite. And a woman like that oftentimes will never find satiety in a relationship because she has lost her ability to pair bond and have a profound connection. Women are not meant to be entered by 20 men, right? You guys can argue with yourself in the comment section. That's perfectly fine. I welcome different thoughts, different opinions. But I'm telling you from my experience as a man who has dated probably more women than most men, okay, all around the world. I've lived all around the world. Okay, this isn't a passport bro going out paying for prostitutes. No, I've actually lived in multiple societies and I've had amazing relationships with amazing women and I've had not so amazing relationships with women. And I'm telling you, okay, you need to be very aware of excessive tattoos. If it's a woman that you're considering taking serious, I would ask for the body count. If it's a woman that you're just having fun with, okay, let it be that. You don't have to ask for the body count. But if you're taking a woman potentially serious, ask for the body count. Yes, she could lie, but this is where that discernment comes from. And you have to be able to watch her actions because at the end of the day, you're taking this woman into your world, fellas, and you have to have that discernment. And that discernment comes from you trusting yourself first as a man, all right, and being able to observe and judge, right? Then you'll be equipped to be a proper leader. But you have to know the body count if you're going to take her seriously. You have to be aware of excessive tattoos because all of this ties together. All right. And once you get the body count, you have to find the hierarchy and then you can make your decision as a free sovereign man of if you'll choose to pursue this woman further and take her seriously. But I would strongly advise that you guys don't take women serious who have excessive tattoos. Moving on. Oh man. What is the 5th sign? The 5th nonverbal sign, because all of these signs are nonverbal, fellas. They're not gonna tell you, yeah, I'm promiscuous. No, they're gonna try to deceive you. Women can be very deceitful, and this isn't coming from a hateful spot. This isn't coming from a red pill spot. You guys know my philosophy on the red pill. I don't, subscribe to that sector, that ideology, but I am a very candid and honest man, and I want to save you guys heartache, right? So we're on number 5, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yep, correct. We're on number 5. The fifth sign is she always, and we're not gonna stay here too long. She always wants to, go out. Be very wary of the woman that wants to go out. Oh, Dudley, you're so oppressive. Oh, what are you saying? She can't go out now? Absolutely, she can go out. She's her own person. She's her own, human being. You don't control a woman. Like I've told you guys before, you guys know my philosophy, right? You don't control a woman. A woman chooses to come into your world, right? However, fellas, if you've never truly had a woman absolutely enamored by you, okay, I'll tell you what it's like, okay? When a woman is truly enamored and infatuated and smitten by you, she won't want to leave your sight, okay? Now, it's up to you as the leader to know when it's time for a healthy space, right? Now, this is how you lead a woman correctly. She'll be infatuated with you. She'll want to be around you all the time, but you have to know how to get back to your purpose as a man and how to give that space between you two, right? Even if it's unbeknownst to her, she wants to be with you 24/7. You can't let that happen because attraction will decrease if she's with you all the time, if she sees you passive, laying down, right? Your woman has to look at you as a superhero because they want to look up to their man. The man has to be aggrandized. This is why she respects you and deems you as the leader. The woman deems you as the leader. You don't just get that position, okay? Now, when a woman always wants to go out, it means that she doesn't look at you that way. Why? Because when a woman is truly enamored with you, fellas, she'll want to spend damn near every second. I've had girls before, they just want to stay over every day for like 10 days in a row. And unbeknownst to me, I was doing myself a disservice because you can't be around a woman 24/7. Now, for the guys that are married, the guys that are divorced, that's seeing it's like, well, what if she's my wife? The truth is, you got to leave the house oftentimes and go do what you got to do. Go to work, go hang out with the boys, go have your own life, but you cannot be around her 24/7. But if she's constantly wanting to go out, she wants to seek validation. She wants to go explore. She wants to go get validated, right? There's nothing wrong with her going out with her friends, right? Depending on who her friends are. But if she's constantly going out, constantly bored, I'm bored. If a woman is constantly bored, that means that she's highly neurotic. And a highly neurotic woman is more than likely going to be a promiscuous woman. And you have to be able to interpret these subtle cues, these nonverbal cues, because she's not going to tell you this. It's just going to be I'm bored. I want to go out. I'm going to go out with the girls. Next thing you know, fellas, listen, I have friends who are bouncers. I have friends that'll attest to how much women cheat. I have unfortunately been on the other side, and I've been with women who have had husbands and I didn't know. I've been with women who had boyfriends and I did not know because they lied to me. And the next thing you know, I'm getting a text, I'm getting a call, you motherfucker, da, 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 and I had no idea. Okay? So if a woman is constantly wanting to go out, she don't respect you like that. And more times than not, you're dealing with a harlot. Let's move on. Number 6. What's the 6th sign that you are dealing with a 304? And this is going to be excessive, especially in this day and age, right? Because being that we are in the information age, I have to add this. This is going to be excessive social media / right? Neurotic, like I said before. Now, excessive social media, constantly needing that dopamine hit, constantly needing to be on social media and posting on the story or scrolling, or she's neurotic, always wanting to go out. Like I said previously, she's always bored, has to be stimulated. It's never enough. This woman is going to exhaust you. Trust me. And I don't care how attractive she is, fellas. I know most men never really get to experience truly beautiful women. And I want to be very clear. I'm not like portraying myself to be this guy that just knows it all. But I've been with truly gorgeous women. And I can guarantee you, when she's freaking neurotic, okay? I don't care how gorgeous she is, fellas, how good the box is, I'm telling you, right? And a lot of them oftentimes have amazing box, and that's fantastic. But you as a man cannot be moved by sexual access, okay? When she's neurotic, she always has to be on social media, always has to move around because she's bored and go out and do all these things, it's going to be exhausting, especially what, fellas? Especially if you are a man that is in a season of building, which most of you gentlemen are, which is why you watch my channel, which is why you're into self-improvement, because you're building yourself as a man. You're building your career, your business, your body. You're working on your traumas as a man. You're healing, right? You're improving all of these different aspects of your life, and you're rooted, you're stable, you're a man. And so being with a woman that is absolutely off the rails, off the hinge, always wanting to go wild, it's exhausting, fellas. It's exhausting. And most men, because she'll be gorgeous, they'll put up with this. They'll just deal with her neurotic nature and always posting and always wanting to go out and always want to be seen. And it's going to hurt you in the long run. And you're probably going to fall deeper in love with her because you're a man that's so rooted and she's the complete opposite, right? And she's beautiful and the box is good. You're going to fall in love with her and she's just going to break your heart. I'm telling you how it goes. 10 times out of 10. I'm telling you how it's going to go. Okay, so you want to be very wary of the woman that is constantly on social media and that's overly neurotic. Okay, you want to, this is going to sound counterintuitive to a lot of people, but contrary to popular belief, there are women out there with rationality that come from good families. Women are naturally emotional, but there are women that have their head on straight. There are women that are truly intelligent. There are rational women out there. I don't care what anybody tells you. I've dealt with some sound-minded women that were fantastic to be around, seriously. So you guys got to get off the internet about all these things that people are saying. There are sound-minded women out here, fellas, that are not going to drive you crazy. Let's move on. Number seven is going to be revealing clothing or photos. Fellas, I don't have to stay here too long. If a woman truly respects you, she's not going to be overly revealing herself. I don't care what you say. Oh, what? I can't feel sexy as a woman. Oh, you're insecure. Little dick energy. You're insecure. Oh, is there some hate with you? Did you grow up with your mother? They're going to try to say all type of things to move you off center as a man because they want to go show their assets online. But the truth is that the woman is advertising herself for other men for potential better mates. That's the God's honest truth. And oftentimes when a woman has to constantly reveal herself, whether on social media or in person, this is due to insecurity and she's seeking validation. Let me tell you something. If you've never dealt with a woman that is truly, and I mean truly confident, and not just for her looks. Okay, she's attractive. That can be part of the reason why she's confident. That's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But when a woman is truly confident for her merit, for who she is internally, for where she comes from, if you've never dealt with a woman like that, that's intelligent, that's like fiery, that's like really confident viscerally for how she was raised from her family, I'm telling you, it's completely different. When you've been with a woman that's innately confident, that doesn't need to seek validation for showing off her assets, right? I'm telling you, you can find a woman that is stacked, that has everything, right? But if she comes from a good family and she was raised properly and she's, actually intelligent and actually confident for who she is, that's different. And until you guys experience that, I'm telling you, do not fall for this trap of, oh, you're insecure because I gotta show my body. There's nothing wrong with a woman feeling confident in her body and if she wants to walk around with a dress on or something. But when a woman is showing so much cleavage and leaving nothing for the imagination, this is a red flag. And you can try to flip it any type of way, right? I know lately I've been looking at my analytics and for some odd reason, I've been attracting women onto this channel. Y'all might not like me for this. This might be your first time watching me. I really don't give a damn, okay? But I'm telling you right now, those that are honest, those that have a sound mind will tell you a woman constantly revealing herself, looking for attention, whether it's photos or in public, this is a sign that this woman is a 304. that this woman is potentially promiscuous. Let me say potentially, but more times than not, this will show and indicate that this woman is definitely, you know, a whore. Number 8, what is the 8 nonverbal cue that you're dealing with a whore? I'm just gonna be honest with you right here. This is gonna be a lack of depth and, let's say, connection. What do I mean by this? Fellas, a woman is not supposed to be able to sleep with you and just walk away like it's nothing. If you're with a woman right now, listen very carefully. If you're with a woman right now and it feels like there's no depth to the relationship, like she won't open up to you, like she's all about herself, there's no genuine connection, everything feels temporary. You have sex and it's great, but that's all it is. And if that's what you want, that's perfectly fine. But I'm talking about the guys that don't want to get heartbroken. If you're dealing with a woman and there's a genuine lack of depth and connection and everything feels temporary and she's not future pacing, this is a red flag. This is a red flag. You got to understand, when a woman is truly enamored by you, she'll future pace. She'll start to imagine what life could be like with you, okay? You should never be future pacing as a man, but she should. And if she's not, that's a red flag. If a woman does not want to go in depth with you emotionally, if she doesn't want to confide in you, she doesn't look at you as an authority. She doesn't respect you, okay? And more times than not, she doesn't have the ability to pair bond. She either doesn't look at you as that man, right? Because there are some nuances. She either doesn't look at you as that man, or chances are she's a whore and she's only in it for the thrill. She's only in it for the adventure, right? She's only in it to have a good time. And the fact that a woman could have a good time with multiple men and let them all enter her anyway and not take it seriously and not respect her body, right? And not respect her temple means that she's a harlot. So we won't stay here too long. A lack of depth and emotional connection, if it feels temporary, that's because it is. That's because she's a whore. Let's keep it pushing. Let's move on, fellas, to number 9. The 9th sign that you're dealing with a promiscuous woman is going to be if she is overly, overly, my bad. I kind of butchered that, man, my bad, but y'all get what I'm saying. Overly flirtatious. If a woman is overly flirtatious, she wants to be validated. She wants to be seen. Now, I'm not talking about if you meet her somewhere and you guys hit it off and you guys are flirting with each other and building up that tension. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with a flirtatious woman, but if she's overly flirtatious, especially when she's with you and she's giving other men energy, she either doesn't respect you or she's a 304 or both. Like I said, fellas, when a woman, and I won't stay here too long, when a woman is truly enamored with you, fellas, she'll close off access to anybody. I have watched women that I was dating, celebrities, I'm not gonna name any names, creators, famous content creators, celebrities, entering in her DM, right? This was back when the blue check actually meant something, when you had to be somebody to have a blue check, right? Enter in her DMs, and she gave them no energy. No energy. She would just give me her phone. I wouldn't have to ask for that. I never asked for passwords or phones, right? Personally, I don't ask for it, right? And she would just say, hey, look, this, that. This is what a woman will do when she's truly enamored by you. She'll close off access to anybody. She won't give anybody energy. But the second that she's overly flirtatious and she starts giving people energy, what is she giving them? When she's giving other men energy, she's giving other men access to what? You know what that is. I ain't got to put the roast beef lips around it. You know what it is. I personally like the roast beef. I ain't gonna lie. I like it a little meaty. I like a little Arby's. But I'm getting carried away. When a woman is flirtatious, right? Especially when she's with you, she's giving other men access. So you're gonna wanna watch out, all right? Because if she's giving other men access, I mean, somebody else could be, and I would hate for this to happen to you guys. Picture this. You come home one day after a long day of work. Maybe you were out of town for some business conference, but you came home early to surprise your wife or your girl. And you come home and you walk in the room and you just see some behemoth dude, ass cheeks touching the ceiling fan, dropping dick in your bitch. Ass cheeks is touching the ceiling fan, dropping it. That's gonna break your heart, fellas, all right? And the signs were there, but you chose to ignore. Oh no, she's just, I'm not controlling. She just wants her freedom. And okay, I would really dread for that to happen to y'all. Overly flirtatious is a clear sign and indicator that your woman is promiscuous. Promiscuity. Moving on to number 10, fellas. Number 10, fellas, the 10th sign that you're dealing with a promiscuous woman is a lack of accountability. A lack of accountability. Most guys right now are probably looking at me and saying, Dudley, most women lack accountability. We're not looking for most women. You're looking for the woman that you deem worthy to be with you, correct? Especially when you're doing all this work on yourself, right? Most people, in fact, lack accountability. Now, when a woman truly lacks accountability and she's unable to admit to her issues, it's never her fault. It's always somebody else's fault, and she's immature. This woman is liable to land on somebody else's cock, straight up, and say, it's not my fault. He did this. He tricked me. He coerced me. You don't want to deal with a woman like that. I'm here to tell you that there are women who take accountability, okay? I'm not one of these guys that's going to sit here and red pill rage and tell you that all women are this. There are fantastic women out there, okay? I'm dealing with a fantastic woman right now. There are fantastic women that'll respect you, that will take accountability for their actions. Now, women are emotional, but like I said before, there are women who have sound minds that will actually say sorry, that will apologize when they're wrong, that won't take advantage of you as a man, that's going to consider your actions before they move. This is a sign of respect, okay? And so if a woman is immature, lacks accountability, it's never her fault. It's always the fault of somebody else. The chances are she could be easily swayed and she could potentially lead or move into promiscuity. That's the truth. I won't be here too long, fellas. We got one more. Let's get into it. Oh man, fellas, the last one. And I haven't really seen that many people speak about this one, but this is one that always is a red flag for me. The last one is, she's a daredevil. Subtle sign. I remember I was talking to a woman maybe like two months ago, and I was getting to know her a little bit, and she was like, yeah, I like to go skydiving and bungee jumping and four-wheeler and dirt bikes and all this stuff. I was like, I'm good. You see, there's nothing wrong with a woman being some type adventurous, a woman that's down to go on a trip with you and ride four-wheelers. Listen to me carefully. There's nothing with a woman that's fun to be around. You want your woman to be fun, but I'm talking about the little gray matter in between the lines that us men have to have discernment for. If a woman can constantly bungee jump and take high testosterone activities and risk her life, skydiving and all these different things, it means this woman is seeking a thrill all the time. It means that her dopamine receptors could and possibly be effed, okay? And she will exhaust you, like I said previously. She's constantly seeking adventure, thrill, constantly seeking something new, constantly seeking something that's gonna spike that dopamine, and it leads back towards being neurotic. And neurotic women oftentimes need novelty. And novelty means what? She's a whore, to put it frank. Okay, so you want to be very wary of women that are daredevils, fellas, okay? Seriously. So listen, if your woman is constantly wanting to do different things and I'm not talking about having fun. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. If she wants to bungee jump all the time and go fast and all this shit, I'm just saying, chances are, I'm not saying all the time, I'm just saying chances are that you're dealing with a neurotic woman. And if you're dealing with a woman that you might think is a harlot, click that first link down that's pinned in the comment section or my description. Book a consultation with me, all right? And let's get down to how you can figure out how to choose the correct woman for you.